it.
Hello out there, and thanks for joining us on Political Platform. And we are here. This is Tuesday, and we have all the reports for you. The Kano State government has declared today public holiday to enable the citizens take part in the mourning and burial of elder statesman, Nigeria first UN permanent representatives Maitama Sule, who died in Egypt yesterday. Of course, we will, in subsequent editions of the program, devote time to tell you about Maitama Sule, but to tell you that he's one elder statesman who was not afraid to express himself, contributing to national development at every junction of the kind of nationhood we have built. Okiria Agbonsuremi here, and we have Alhaji Tanko Yakasai in the studio. He is not afraid of controversy. He's not afraid of expressing himself. And an elder statesman himself, one time, in fact, former publicity secretary of NEPU, that was what dragged him out of journalism. He was in journalism, active journalism practice, until he was asked to come and be the publicity secretary of NEPU. He became commissioner for information in the old Kano, and eventually presidential advisor to Shehu Shagari. He is in the studio with us. We'll also be linking up with Dr. Uche Diala. He's currently in Imo State as we speak. The Southeast leaders came up with a resolution. We are going to be examining that resolution against the backdrop of the issues on the ground, the restructuring we are talking about. And the topic today on the lips of every Nigeria is restructuring, and we are driving it hard to get an understanding of what it is. I'm Okiri Agbonsuremi again, and I have Adebayo Boduri with me on the studio this morning. Adebayo Boduri, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Okiri. I think it's good for us that we're having Alhaji Tanko Yakasai with us, because it's one person that has been very, very passionate about this issue of keeping Nigeria united.
All right. I also have Dr. Amechi Anakwe on the platform this morning. Amechi, welcome to the program.
Hello and welcome to Political Platform.
And Uju Eje is joining us.
Hello, Okiria. We really lost a real elder statesman, a knowledgeable man, one of the very best that the country has produced in the person of Maitama Sule.
As you listen to us, you can go to the Google Play and download the Repower app, and you are able to listen to us anywhere you are, anywhere in the world. But you can also join our YouTube channel, Ait Political Platform, to listen to what to watch and see what you are actually listening to now. And you can also watch AIT Abuja if you are within the Abuja area, AIT Abuja by 6 p.m. in the evening, and you hear it. Then you can write to us through politicalplatform@yahoo.com and interact with us. Tell us what you think about all the issues we have. Now let's take a look at our mailbox. Who is talking to us this morning?
Thanks, Ohiria. Welcome to the mail segment. I'm Amaka Okoro.
And I'm Ife Nwanwobi. You're welcome.
We'll begin with a reaction to the call for diversification, and it's coming from Kando Namani from Apapa in Lagos State. The mail reads, recently the federal government signed an executive order that will compel 4 more million Nigerians to pay their taxes as a way of diversification. But my reasoning about this diversification is that the federal government should allow the federating units or component state to tap their God-endowed mineral resources, keep the 70% of the revenue, and send 30% to the center. By this, the state governors will rise to the occasion of real governance and not be dependent. This is proper diversification. This is restructuring. God bless our own dear Nigeria.
And Ige Adeola in Abuja says, I wish to draw your attention to the recent call by the Senate that the executive should forward the 2014 Confab report to it for necessary deliberation. I want to state that this is a right move in the right direction, especially now with the ongoing agitation in our dear country. You will recall that 492 Nigerians from all parts of the country and across several disciplines met to come up with all recommendations contained therein. Similarly, it is not out of place if 469 lawmakers in the National Assembly that were constitutionally elected should decide to take a look into the report with a view to providing solutions to the current state of the nation. I think the executive should give them a chance. If, as a nation, we cannot trust and rely on the judgment of the legislators and the confab participants, totaling 971 intellectuals, to provide us with solutions, then I doubt if we can ever come up with any group of individuals to do justice to the challenges facing our dear nation. God bless our dear country.
And on the analysis on the platform yesterday, Philip Adebumowa from Amana Jordan says, I think it's better for the political platform crew to advocate that premium should be paid by any VIP who needs private protection of the Nigeria police force, which would in turn put more Nigerian youth into the police force for the protection of the Nigerian populace. For example, if Alhaji Dangote desires 1,000 police officers for his private protection, the government should make him pay a premium amount that will be enough to employ and cater for the need of additional 2,000 policemen. This way, government will provide more employment opportunity for the youth, as well as providing adequate security to the citizens. We should have a system in place that will allow the rich the opportunity to enjoy their wealth in a way that the needs of the poor can be adequately subsidized through the taste and lifestyle of the rich in our society. It is a win-win situation. Regards.
That's it on the mail segment. Do keep your mails coming with your name and where you're writing us from to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Busted. They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much for remaining with us on the platform. Our acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, a professor of law and the senior advocate of Nigeria, was in Addis Ababa yesterday. Same with our First Lady, Aisha Buhari, who also attended a program of the African Union. So both of them representing Nigeria in Addis Ababa yesterday. Now, Alhaji Tanko Yakase, like I told you before, is one man who is not afraid to express his opinion. He's been around for quite a long time. He's an elder statesman, and he's one man you want to listen to. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Now, restructuring, what does it mean to you?
It means selfishness.
It means selfishness.
Selfishness.
Maybe you want to explain.
You want to explain? Well, who is selfish?
On the part of the action group members, the remaining action group members in our society.
You are going too back in time. Can you explain? Because there are so many people who don't understand what the meaning of action group is.
Well, action group was a political party in the First Republic. They wanted to rule Nigeria. They are the most educated people in Nigeria. But let me tell you, that when we talk of action group, don't let anybody think that we are talking of Yorubas as a whole. In the First Republic, the first election in 1951 in Western Nigeria was won by Nnamdi Azikiwe's NCNC.
That's true.
So when we talk of the action group, we are not talking of Yorubas.
Are you talking about the South altogether?
Action group was in the Southwest.
No, as defined now, are we talking of those who you claim are selfish with restructuring? Are you talking about those who are talking about restructuring in the South, Southwest, Southeast?
These are people who are cajoled into the agitation. It did not originate from them.
Now, does it make any meaning to you for somebody to canvass for the restructuring of Nigeria?
In a democracy, everybody has his right. The only thing is there is a correct right and there is a wrong right. There's a way of expressing your right. You know, expression of freedom has a responsibility.
What do you believe in Nigeria? What do you believe?
I believe in the way that Nigeria is going today.
As it is now?
Except that I don't like presidential system. I supported it before because I thought it would unite the country. In the end, it is now dividing the country. Why? Because of the powers vested in the presidency. Everybody now is talking about the presidency. So I'm looking for a situation whereby the power of the presidency will be reduced. The only way we can do it, because if I say we should drop presidential system, the president, the 36 governors, and probably the 774 local government chairmen will all gang up and fight you. So instead of that, let us adopt French system, where you have the president, a prime minister, and all the ministers will come from the legislature, so that the ministers will go and campaign with the common man and get their votes. When they perform, they will be re-elected. When they do not perform, they will be done away with. Unlike now, where you cannot do anything to the government because you have to impeach the president. To impeach the president, you need to have a support of 2/3 majority of the members of the National Assembly. It is not difficult for any president, no matter how stupid he is, to get 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly. In fact, it's not 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly. He can only get 1/3 of the Senate, as it happened in the case of former president.
Sir, let's go back into history. You have raised one critical issue about Action Group.
Yes.
In the 1954 Constitutional Conference, the move to include secession in this constitution was flatly defeated, and we opted for a federal system of government.
Yeah.
But there have been complaints about the form of federalism currently operating in the country. Do you think we have a perfect federalism as at now?
Let me tell you, the complaint that you are hearing about is by elites who are looking for an opportunity to. They led you and me into creating 36 states, which are cumbersome for Nigeria, very expensive to run. Now they are looking for another opportunity so that they can do away with that 36 states and create new, more convenient arrangement for them so that they can rule. Is not for the interest of Nigeria, you and me. What we need is what I said, that get the members in the National Assembly as ministers. In the first place, you save money, because instead of paying members separately, pay ministers separately. Now, when you pay a minister, a member, he's a minister, then you solve the problem of one salary.
This
the second point. Okay. The second point, that you will make a minister answerable to the electorate. Now they are not. You pick somebody on the street, he's a commissioner, he's a minister. He is not answerable to anybody except to the president. Even to see his president is not easy. So he can go and do whatever he likes.
What you have just prescribed are some of the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. Yes. That the bulk of the ministers should be appointed from the legislature. What's the opinion about the implementation of that report? And secondly, what you have just described, will I be wrong if I describe it as political restructuring?
It's not. You see, in the first place, I proposed this French system and submitted a memo to the Committee of Structure at the conference. It was modified. They felt that they should give President power to appoint 1/3 of the cabinet, and the 70% or 2/3 will be from the legislature, the same in the state. And now you are talking of
the conference report itself, and if what you have said now is not to be described appropriately as political restructuring.
Conference recommended 600 recommendations.
Yes.
600 recommendations. Why are we wasting time over one? We are not talking of others. Some of them were more important. I'll tell you 1, 2, 3 recommendations. There was a recommendation that 1% of the federal government revenue should be dedicated to the rehabilitation of the Northeast, which was devastated by Boko Haram. It's a national patriotic proposition. It was adopted. Secondly, it was proposed that certain percentage, I can't remember the percentage, of the federal government revenue should be dedicated to the development of solid mineral resources in Nigeria. That will create massive employment for the youth. that will create enormous revenue to the federal government and state government, that will take our country out of this wood of poverty and unemployment. And there are many other recommendations. Why are people not talking about them? Why are they talking about restructuring? Simply because some people wanted to be...
Now, the question that many people listening to you want to ask, and we want to see if we can capture it in just one simple question. Are you comfortable with the rate Nigeria is going now? Because we are talking of devolution of powers, we are talking about the resource control, in order that everybody elected will be responsible to the people. Are you comfortable with the current state of Nigeria now? Will it work even with your suggestion?
If you are talking of devolution of power, you are talking of taking power from the central authority to the state and local government.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the structure. It's the constitutional arrangement to change the power that you allot. You know, the powers are allotted to the center, to the state and local government. When you talk of devolution of power, you're talking of taking some of the powers from one place to another.
Does it not imply
restructuring? No.
Does it not also apply resource control? Which power?
Resource control? No, it doesn't.
How do you take power down the way you have suggested to either the states and devolve it without them? Those are the states having the authority to control their resources.
No. You see, I happen to chair a committee in Kano. One former Kano state government set up a committee of elders to make recommendation for constitutional amendment. I chaired a committee on this very issue of devolution of power. We went through the list of legislative lists, federal, state, and we found that there were very strong people who wanted a devolution of power. But in the end, we were only able to remove 7 items from the federal exclusive list into concurrent list. Even then, it means that the federal government too has power. You see, people are talking of taking away education, agriculture from the federal government. Does it make sense for you as an individual to be given power to go and have a farm, engage in agriculture, and the federal authority or the whole country will be deprived of that power? Does it make sense that you as an individual, you can go and build a school, organize a school of your own, and the federal government of the whole country will not be given power to be involved in the education of the citizens of the country? It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't think it should make sense.
I think you has the question.
Actually, Michi asked the initial question I wanted to ask, because everything he has said looks like, political restructuring, even touching somewhat on resource control indirectly. And
you see, I don't think you understand what they mean by restructuring. I know what they mean, but I will not do their work. They will come and explain to you. But they are thinking of reducing the number of representation for northern Nigeria. They are thinking...
And you are not comfortable with that?
Why should you... Population is based on... representation is based on population. Is it the fault of God that he created more people in the north than he did in the south? If anybody wants to quarrel with God, let him come out.
Now, can you just explain to us? We're speaking with Haji Tanko Yakase. Can you talk to the youth in the north, because it does appear that there is an October 1 deadline and a lot of information flying around.
I'm not an ordinary Nigerian.
Yeah, I mean, can you help us?
Not because of my political activism. I alone was born by my parents. 3 of us, 2 were women. They died. I'm the only male child. I have now 19 children. I produced 23, 4 died, 19 are died. They are all graduates. I didn't produce liability to Nigeria. They are all graduates. Now, those 19 plus me 20, they produce 60 grandchildren for me. When you are talking of the youth, there is no better person to think of the youth than somebody who has 80 children and grandchildren.
Okay, now
I'm better qualified.
We are going to be introducing Dr. Uche Deala. Dr. Uche Deala is in Owerri as we speak, and he wants to tell us his perspectives about the position of the elders from the Southeast in their recent meeting. Thank you very much, Dr. Dela. What's your thinking? What are your thoughts about the recent resolution from our brothers and sisters, the elders indeed, from the southern part of Nigeria?
For that person, the positions of my brothers in the Southeast. I've also noted positions of the youth in the North and all that. But my thinking is that I think everybody should just take a deep breath and look at ways of getting out of this. These issues have been there for many, many years. The feeling of marginalization across board, especially on the side of the Southeast and as the Igbos. But I think that it is more important to keep our heads cool and look at the issues across the table and come out with a mutual way forward.
Now you are in the Southeast as we speak. You are in Owerri. What is the mood like with regard to the ultimatum of October 1 that the Igbo should leave all the other parts of Nigeria, particularly in the north, to come back? What's the mood? What do you gauge around there? And you'll be speaking with your own relations and those who are close to you. Is anybody discountenancing them, or are they taking this issue seriously?
You get about two shades of opinion. There are those that are dismissive and don't mind them, they're not serious. And there are those that are very cautious, going by experience that they've had in the past. But I think one thing that I see that is running through most people that I've spoken to is that in spite of the exuberance on the sides of some people, everybody really wants to have peace. Everybody really wants us to be able to find a way out of this. One thing I know, I can tell you, most people here, they say they don't want another war. You can see that divide between the elderly people who probably witnessed the civil war and then the younger people who didn't see that. So that's one thing I know that nobody wants to go to war. Nobody wants to fight. But they're saying that they're not happy with the way Nigeria is going, the things are going in Nigeria, that they want a resolution. And that is where I think that the elders and across board should come on board now.
Thank you very much, Ait Deala, who is speaking with us now from Owerri. Thank you so much. When we come back from this break, we'll be back to Alhaji Tanko Yakase to conclude on the program. Please don't go away.
Busted. They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much for remaining with us on Political Platform, and we have Alhaji Tanko Yakase in the studio. We just spoke with Dr. Ait Deala, who talked about the need for no war and the need for everybody to work at a framework. But let's come back to the studio now. Alhaji, are you disturbed that some people in Nigeria are afraid of October 1 and that we still have some elements amongst the youths in the north who are still fanning the embers and they are not keeping quiet in spite of all the efforts by the government to say, let us keep quiet and work for peace. Everybody will be accommodated under any arrangement that we want to talk about. Let us talk rather than fight. People are apprehensive about this. What are we telling the younger elements in the north, and what are your concerns?
Can I start by telling you a little story? I don't believe that two wrongs makes a right. That is my fundamental belief. And two, that one of my leaders told me that if I go by the riverside and remove my dress, kept it aside, entered into the river, and then a madman came naked and scooped my dress and ran away. If I follow him, everybody will say two mad people are running. I don't want to be that. So I listen to the concern, and it's normal that somebody said he's going to slap you. It would be wrong of you to take that he's joking. it is better for you to take precaution so that he will not slap you, or he will not harm you. No problem. Everybody who is concerned about the threat is perfectly in order. But I believe that the way Nigeria is living, I asked a question recently in Owerri, ask him if the Igbos and Hausas are fighting. Go to Lagos, ask people in Lagos if the Yorubas and Igbos are fighting one another. Go to Kano, if the Kano in Kano, Hausas and Igbos are fighting one another. That will tell you if there is any trouble coming or there is no trouble coming. Some people can issue a threat, but I said from the beginning that I appreciate the concern of those who express concern because of our history. But I think for all intents and purposes, 1st of October, by the grace of God, will come and pass, and there will be peace in this country.
Yeah, but are you satisfied with the way the matter is being handled, particularly on the part of government?
I will tell you my honest truth. The Southeastern leaders came a bit too late. They should have come out right from the beginning to dissociate themselves from the rhetoric of Nnamdi Kanu. Well, that was the beginning of the whole problem. If the elders had come out at that time and said what he was saying was wrong, the abusive language he was using was wrong, people will listen to them. And people will be happy. You see, silence means consent. And it's also there in Islam, as Kuturilan.
So now that you have actually rightly said at the beginning that two wrongs don't make a right. How do we get, as a roundup, now as a way to round up the program now, how do we get everybody in Nigeria on the same table?
Well, the solution is that the elders and the government at all levels should come together and state clearly that they are opposed to vandalism, they are opposed to crisis in Nigeria, they are for one united Nigeria. Whatever grievances anybody has, he should use constitutional means to express it. Otherwise, see, when the leaders are keeping quiet, the signal, the impression is that they are sending a signal to the people who are doing the wrong thing that they are doing the right thing.
Elder Alhaji Tanko Yakase is an elder statesman. He's been around since the days of NEPU. I told you earlier that he actually ran away from journalism, but he said he didn't run away. He did not run away. He was asked to come and practice journalism in a different way. As the public secretary of NEPU, he became commissioner for the old information in the old Kano, and he became presidential advisor to Shehu Shagari. Thank you so much.
It was a way of promotion.
Thank you so much, Eda, for joining us on the program. And that's how we are wrapping it up on this edition of Political Platform. Let's do it again tomorrow. Okay, Agbonsuremi here.